Hey, it's me again. Welcome to day 2 of our home buyer training series. Today I want to talk to you guys about goal setting and how important it is in finding your first home. So why is goal setting important early on in this process? So setting goals early on helps you to narrow down your search and will help you better understand the home that's going to match your needs. Setting helps you set realistic expectations, and before you can execute any plan, it's obviously important to have a clear vision of what you want to do. So home buying is a big process, it's a big commitment, and there's a lot to it. So before we dive into all of the details, we need to really figure out if you're ready to buy a home, and what kind of home you're looking for. So what type of things should you consider in your goal setting? Obviously, the first is going to be your financial life. If you don't have a good financial health, if your credit score isn't bad, if you have a lot of debt, credit card bills, charge-offs, right now may not be the best time for you to buy a home, but that doesn't mean that it is off limits for you. There's definitely programs that can help you lower your debt and get in a better position to where you would be able to buy a home. But that is factor number one that you need to consider. The second thing are your needs. Are there any non-negotiables that you must have in this home? This includes things like number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, if you need additional storage space, if you need a mother-in-law suite, if you want your kids to go to a certain school district, if you want to be near any certain amenities, things like that. And these are must-have considerations, kind of non-negotiable subjects that whatever home you find must meet. And the next thing is, what are your wants? Are there some things that you could see in your ideal home that may not be a must? They could be added on later. Things could be a fence, or you would prefer maybe a corner lot. Maybe you would prefer a large yard, but you don't know if you want an acre or 3 acres. And so those are all kinds of things that we can consider and kind of put together as we start your search. So once you kind of figure out what you're wanting to do, go ahead and make a list. It's best to write all of this down. It could take a while to get the entire process going, and you don't want any of these ideas to go to waste. So definitely write them down, make a list, the must-haves and the wants. We'll go ahead and put those together. Oh, skipped a slide. So then we've got to do some future consideration planning. Some things that we need to consider is, how long do you plan on staying in the town that you're moving into, whether it be Evansville, Newburgh, or somewhere else entirely. We really need to know how long you're expecting to be there. It doesn't make sense necessarily to buy a home if you're only going to be there a short period of time. But even if it were a couple years, it could definitely be advantageous, but that's something that we can discuss. Do you anticipate any family size changes in the coming years? Do you have a baby on the way? Are you expecting a marriage? Are you currently engaged? Anything like that? If so, it may be good to plan for that now. Go ahead and get that extra space and bedroom so that a move isn't necessary right away. And then the last thing to really consider here is, are you expecting any career changes? Is your job relatively stable as far as income goes, as far as placement goes? If it's not unstable, buying a home is a big life decision. And so you want to make sure that you've got the income portion of that covered, that your job is not going anywhere. So on our next video tomorrow, we're going to talk about meeting with the lender and getting pre-qualified for a mortgage. That is the next step in this process, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. We'll talk soon.